Film review. What did you think about your sack that I guess wasn't a sack?
Actually, I ended up getting the official stats. They'd give me a sack, pretty sure, because they didn't know how to judge it. So they gave me a sack for it, and we won the game. So I mean, could have changed the game completely, but at the end of the day, we won. So it doesn't really matter, I guess.
What were your first kind of thoughts when you saw the flag on the ground? Did you think like holding was called? But
Yeah, actually, that's the first thing I thought. It was holding, or hands to the face on one of the other D linemen or one of the other O linemen. I thought we just really just won the game because I mean that would have been I think a sack from like the 35, 36, 37 yard line. I would have made it 50 plus for a field goal to win the game. So, but Jason Taylor came up big for us on the next fourth down. So
Is this your style? You're walking one long sleeve, one cut off?
now I got a shoulder brace that rubs the hell out of me. So keeps me from rubbing my skin off.
I know you're not going to change the way you play, obviously, but does a call like that kind of make you stop and think before you go and make a play?
I know the rule book pretty well. I know that you're not allowed to tackle the quarterback if you face up with him. You're not allowed to go below the knees, but if he tucks the ball and starts running off, you can tackle him like a running back. So that rule obviously didn't apply there, and I think that's the rule that they're probably trying to enforce. And I don't know. I'm not allowed to say anything on whether they made the right or wrong decision. So
I think Gundy said that they acknowledged they made a mistake later. Did they acknowledge that to you?
no, the ref on the field. I asked him. I was like, "Wait, ref, what the hell is that?" And he said that the quarterback's the defenseless player in the pocket. And I was like, well, maybe you should have played quarterback. Because I'd never heard that before. That was the first time I've ever heard a quarterback's defenseless in the pocket. So.
Overall, how did you feel the pass rush was on Saturday?
I feel like it was one of our better games. Hank Bachmeyer, the kid's tough. I mean, he took a lot of licks, and we were putting a lot of pressure on him, and he was still, throwing good balls. I think we actually maybe ended up hurting him on I think the last time that Devin, split him in half. I think he actually ended up having to go in and get checked on. But I mean, I thought our pass rush was really good. Linebackers at the end were good. And I mean, it paid off, getting him off his spot and not letting him just sitting there all happy and throw good balls all day.
Obviously, no one wants to hear that news that Trey's out for the season, but what has your perspective been like of how Jason Taylor has been stepping into that starting safety role?
To me, I think Jason Taylor could probably start at 95% of the colleges in the country, maybe all of them. He's that talented. Unfortunately for him, Trey Stern's a very talented safety as well, and they play the same position. It's not how things work. You can't have 12 guys on the football field. But I think I saw someone on Twitter say something like Jason's the best backup in the country or something like that, and I fully agree with that. And I think he's going to do just fine.
What do you think of his ability to kind of anticipate plays and see what's going on ahead? I know even on special teams, that was kind of what happened with the kicker kicking the goal there.
I tell him every time we go out there, I'm like, hey man, just go get the ball, be a ball hawk, because that's what he's good at. He always finds a way to get his hands on the ball. Texas Tech last year returned an onside kick for a touchdown. It's almost unheard of. TU this year obviously got called back, but I mean he made a great play on the ball. And he's always figuring out a way to get his hands on the ball. Blocked field goal against Boise, got his hand on the ball. So I think, like I said, he'll do just fine.
As a scholarship guy, how exciting is it for you to see a walk-on make a play at the end of the game, as impactful as Kale did, knowing what they go through compared to you guys on scholarship?
As a scholarship guy, I mean, I have all the respect for those walk-on guys. They really go through hell. I'm not saying they get treated any different than anybody else, but I mean, they still have to go through everything that we go through without the stipend, without the college getting paid for. They're really paying to, get their ass kicked, and that's what they do. And this culture here, it's always been next guy up, and I don't know if somebody went down against Boise. I don't tend to pay too much attention on. He was getting hurt during games, but somebody went down, and you know, it was next man up. You know, that's part of his culture here. It's always been next man up, and you know, he went out there and made a hell of a play.
With Jason, is it cool to see a fellow Oklahoman get a chance to make big plays?
Oh, it's always nice. You know, me and Jason actually get after it a lot when it comes to talking about how good his team was and how good, you know, 4A Oklahoma was when me and Malcolm were in high school. And, you know, we always give the argument that, you know, we had beaten the number 1 5A team that year, like 44-14, and, you know, they took it to the wire with him and all that stuff. So it's always good fun. But it's always nice, you know, Oklahoma kids get looked over a lot in the recruiting world. And, you know, so it's nice, you know, Coach Gunny does a good job recruiting those Oklahoma kids and keeping them in state. And it's nice to see those guys succeed, especially here.
Trace is hurt, but I mean, you got Oklahomans all over that defense.
Yeah, me, Malcolm, Colin Oliver, Colin Clay, and he's hurt. You know, Trace, Kendall Daniels, Israel Antoine, you know, Aiden Kelly. You know, we got them all over the defense, and you know, they're all good players, and they've showed it.
What do you remember about Jason's fumble return against K-State last year?
I remember Israel Antoine, I think, stripped it, got off the block, reached his hand out, punched the ball out, and it popped up right into Jason's hands, and he was gone. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people that are going to chase Jason Taylor down from behind. You know, he's a hell of an athlete.
Well, watching tape, I saw you had a really nice combo that led to a sack. What's your approach when you go into a pass rush? Like, what's your plan?
You always got to have a plan. You know, you come up with your plans, watching film all week. You know, O-linemen have different tendencies every week. And it's just like offense versus defense. You know, everybody has a scheme, and, you know, want to counter those schemes. And offensive linemen, they watch the ends and stuff all the time, too, to see what they like to do. And, you know, they try to counter, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you know you're good at and what you know is going to work. So, you know, I have, you know, about 3 moves I really like to use. You know, there's always your fastball, your changeup, and your slider. You know, your go-tos, and you got to stick to them and work on them every day. And that's what I've done a lot of. You know, back when I was younger, I always want to do something, you know, cool and flashy. You know, the spin moves and all that stuff. And it's nothing. It's nothing like that. When you win, the sack looks really good on film.
Ron, how did your role for this season change when Trace went down? I know you were planning to play plenty, but
I mean, you know, Trace is a hell of a player, and you know, we're gonna miss him this year. And but I think I don't know what Coach Clement's plans were for us, but you know, we're probably gonna split reps. You know, there'll be games where I'd have more, and there'll be games where he'd have more. And I think that we're both probably gonna be on our sack package this year. But I don't think my role changed a whole lot. You know, I might be taking in more reps this year than, you know, last year, the year before. But I don't think my role changed entirely too much.
How is Colin progressing? You know, I know you were kind of
I'm
helping him along.
I'm
How's
still very high on Colin. You know, he's a freak athlete. Like I said last time, he's, you know, takes this very, very seriously. He listens, very coachable. You know, I've been here for 15 years, something like that. And you know, he takes in what I say. You know, he trusts what I say, and he trusts what Coach Clements and G. Rich and all those guys got to say. And he takes everything in, and he takes it serious, and he's going to be well off for it.